Hello, welcome back to the WGL APAC Season 1. As always, my name is Jordan Mays, and joining me is Alex Blakey. Our matchup coming up here, Alex, it's going to be a, we'll let you guys think about it first, because it is going to be EL Gaming and Run.
It is going to be EL Gaming and Run, and I think I could see the word that you were thinking of there in your mind, Jordan, what it was going to be, but
might have been interesting, perhaps?
Interesting. Well, everything's interesting in the Wargaming.net League, of course, but EL Gaming, for those that might have just tuned in and not be familiar with our scene over here in the Asia-Pacific region, EL Gaming, they are the team to beat. They are sitting leagues ahead of everyone else on the standings so far. They have not lost a game, and Run, well, they're the David to the EL Gaming Goliath. I think they're a much newer team to the league, obviously coming in this season through the Silver Series promotion qualifier. So last season they weren't even in the Gold Series, and that's not to say that they're not a good team. They know know a bit of tanks. They're not sitting at the bottom of the ladder, and they're doing actually even better than Gold Bass, who were our, top spot from Korea last season. But it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, I think the David and Goliath analogy is a pretty fair one. Obviously, EL Gaming, the best team in the league, undisputably, sitting up there on number 1, and very much the massive favourites coming into this one.
Very much so. I think, before this week, they had, out of a total of all of their best of 9 series, like an over 90% win rate.
90.1, but
90.1.
They've lost, so they've lost only one round each week so far. So in theory, if they 5-0 this one, that continues. But, they may drop a few rounds here. Well, I want to say they might get beaten by Run, but also I don't believe that.
Well, I don't know. I feel as though Run, I'm just really going to be interested to see if Run can maybe pick some interesting tanks. I think this is a time for Run to experiment, right? And for them to gain a little bit of experience. They're going up against the best team in the league, going up against a team that's really good. I think even on a global level at the moment, I think it's pretty safe to say. Even though obviously in last year's grand finals they didn't do too well, or the last grand finals, but Run, I think they just need to take it in their stead and say, okay, let's try out some new strategies. Let's go a little bit out there, because obviously we're not going to, they're not going to beat EL Gaming playing standard.
No.
They're not going to beat EL Gaming playing standard. So
you can't beat EL Gaming at their own game either.
No.
So even if they try to do something super aggressive, they're not going to have much of a impact, I suppose, with that.
No, they're not. That's for sure. And I feel as though this is where we might be seeing, hopefully, some crazy tank lineups coming out from Run. But Run, there we go. There are the players that we're getting to know as we head in towards this season. Cognac One, of course, the captain of Run. And we've got all of the rest of the Run guys. Matchy HK, definitely one of the players to look out for on the Run side. Cud as well, pretty solid player. So, Run, look, they've definitely got some solid players in their lineup. I feel as though with a little bit more time and, matches like this that will really help them mature as a team. They'll be,
I mean, it's not
pretty good.
All bad here for Run. They've got a few maps which are okay. The likes of Ghost Town, I think, is probably going to be their best bet here against EL Gaming. Again, I would probably favour EL 2-0 on that, but who knows what could happen there. Ruinberg, I suppose, would be another one which, if they could get onto that, it might be going 1-1 just by the nature of Ruinberg. But our first map is going to be Steps here, and 2 IS-7s and 2 Grill 15s for EL on Steps. What do you make of that?
Oh, that is interesting. I think EL Gaming go like we've never seen. I don't think a team going with 2 grills on Steps. Yeah, we've seen 1, but 2.
I don't think we've seen 2 grills ever.
I'm a little bit scared for Run right now, just looking at that, because if you think about it, two grill shots and a bat chat is almost dead.
Yeah. I mean, I can only assume EL here are going to be on the defense. It wouldn't be.
It's EL Gaming though. I wouldn't,
I know.
Like
I understand
they could go on the attack with all of those. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised for them to be on the attack. Like IS7's on the attack. Work alright for getting in towards those flags.
Yeah.
Yes, they work on the defense as well. And yes, I actually don't really favour the grills so much on the defensive side. Even though Steps is obviously such an open map. But 2 grills is a little bit overkill, even for EL Gaming on the defense. But I reckon they're going to use them on the attack. They're going to play fairly aggressively, maybe do a 2-flag push early on. But run, going with the kind of standard lineups. It's like...
it's
I
a very...
don't know if it can work.
It is a very strange lineup coming out there from EL. And in all honesty, it doesn't seem like a lineup which is necessarily fitting into their normal playstyle, I suppose. I would have been more comfortable, I suppose, if they had just gone with like 5 bat chats. But obviously, it's EL Gaming. They'll be coming into this one pretty confident, and I suppose
on the attack,
they might want to try some new things. I guess
maybe. Yeah, they might want to. And, well, exactly, it's a good time for EL Gaming even to try new things. But Lineage H getting a bit of airtime across the railway there. But, yes, EL Gaming is going to be on the attack with those 2 Grillers. The Grill 15's that German Tier 10 tank destroyer. And Run going to be going for a bit of an early push from the defensive side. And I like that they're sending the Scyther in the AMX 1390 down towards the 2-flag, essentially just making sure that EL Gaming aren't pushing down there and getting some extra eyes out. So, like early on, I'm liking this play from Run. But EL Gaming just spreading out a little bit, trying to look for spots, not committing to any flag just yet. And I think they've got their Griddle 15s into some pretty good positions. Essentially, what they're trying to do now is just get some spots on towards Run and use these grills to kind of really punish any Run members. Because, of course, for those that don't know, like, Nice can be this far back in the grill because it is the most accurate tank in the game.
Yeah.
So, really get those, rack up the sniper medals with the grill pretty easily.
I'm just perplexed at EL Gaming at the moment. It's very different from what we've normally seen coming out from them. To have 2 tanks at the back of the map, really not doing a whole lot, I suppose, in that sense. But we can start to see a few of them making their way towards that 2-cap. So I suspect if we do see that 2-cap started, then that long alleyway is really going to be, I suppose, very beneficial for those grills to sit in.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why they pick it. I feel like they're kind of early. They're moving early on towards this 1 flag, but I really reckon when they actually do decide to push onto a flag, it's going to be the 2 flag for those exact reasons that you said, Jordan. It's so good just to sit a grill down around that H0 G0 area, and they're kind of hard to spot, the grills, and that's actually why Fox TS has gone here with this camo net. So, like, essentially that's the sort of grill's defense in these sorts of maps, because anything can go through them. Any tank on Run will go through it like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Or a hot knife through the Riette I made earlier today. But like, the grill, it's not something you want to be relying on once you get spotted. Your defense is not getting spotted.
Well, that's a nice shot coming out there from Nice, I believe it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that's exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, they just baited Keith in towards that IS7, like, tried to get him there, and oh no, they're actually making the push on towards Sunmi. Sunmi's actually in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he is going to get a bit of backup though from Quiet, and yeah, haha, exactly, as he's bouncing like 6 shells off his turret there from all of those bat chats and the 1390 there as well.
Lord.
So Sunmi getting out of there without losing too much HP at all. Now Keith under some pressure from Flag as well. And I guess the difficulty here from Run is they're probably not used to really worrying about some of these angles that those tank destroyers, those grills, would be holding from. So they might not be aware that they can actually be shot in some positions that they're finding themselves in. And they're having a little bit of difficulty, I suppose, is probably the light way to put it.
Fox TS, though, he's been caught out a little bit. The jig is sort of up.
Yeah,
And,
he'll get one more shot off.
Oh, yes. I mean, he got the shot off at least, so that's not the end of the world. But I mean, EL Gaming, they've just lost a tier 10 tank and run quite a bit lower on HP, but at least they did manage to take that one down. And EL Gaming obviously have to be a little bit careful here because
the teams have essentially swapped sides here.
Yeah. Exactly. Now it's kind of like as if EL Gaming had started off on the defense and Run had started off on the attack, but obviously EL Gaming still need to clean out the rest of Run, but Run not going to make it too easy for them. I'm liking Run's positions. EL Gaming at the moment, they're not really grouped up, so if Run did decide to push on towards Nice in that H5 area, then that could be very dangerous for EL.
You're certainly right. Cowdywing just took a little bit of damage there again, and I mean, the problem now for Run is that they don't have the HP to play with to be able to really make any concerted moves towards anywhere, really. If they are the ones making the moves, they're going to be taking damage. So really they need to wait for EL to come to them so that they can get a couple of free shots off and maybe reel back in that HP disparity that they've found themselves at.
Definitely, but right there we can see that Nice in his grill. He's got a shot off, and obviously after a shot, you never know, might get spotted, so these guys are going to be rotating pretty quickly, and I'm liking what Run are doing right now by pushing right up towards the bottom of the map from the looks of things and trying to push out towards Flag, and this is good because Flag is actually all out on his own there for EL Gaming, and Run might be able to clean that up fairly easy. Nice is still rotating, so Nice isn't, maybe he's just in a position there, and he's been spotted, so again, that Grill 15, once it's spotted, very dangerous, has to retreat behind cover for that reload, but Flag's going to be the target.
Yeah, Cognac Wine just going absolutely ham straight in towards Flag there. Didn't manage to connect that second shot, but he's got the backup of Matchy HK and also another bat chat from Run Lineage H coming in for a bit of the cleanup crew. They might be able to go and catch off Nice there, but it seems like they're a little bit more interested in heading over towards that one cap and getting the reset, which I suppose is probably a good idea, Alex, because if they don't do that, they'll get capped out.
Well, that's the thing. They were going to get there in 25 seconds anyway, so it wasn't enough pressure for them to kind of worry about. And now EL Gaming have disengaged on the cap. They're trying to fight them. Right now, Run are sort of out in the open here. They're going to be coming out of that sort of middle ditch pretty soon. EL Gaming, though, like they are 2 tanks down. Run looking low.
Yeah, Run looking extremely low. Only 2,500 HP between them, really, and EL Gaming almost 2 or 3 times that, or 3 times that, pretty much. And even though they've got some tanks on the board here, Ron, I don't think they're going to be able to pull themselves out of this one. I mean, there's only a few bat chats left, and so many enemy tanks to deal with here from EL.
Yeah, this is not looking too good at all for Run. And Lineage H, we can see him there, just getting a few shots across. And I like the idea of rotating to try and catch out a few of EL Gaming's tanks, and it did honestly work. They did catch out the IS-7, but really their HPs were just too low to kind of further make it work. And maybe if after they got that pick on the IS-7, I was just thinking maybe they retreat back to the 2 flag, but they couldn't because EL Gaming were already putting the cap pressure on. And look, right now, it's a matter of hunt them down for EL Gaming. They've got a lot of HP left, EL. 1 shot's all it's going to take for Black to take out the Scyther. Ooh.
Interesting that he tries to take out Cognac Wine. I'm not sure if he can actually one-shot Cognac Wine. 355 HP. He for sure can take out the MX-1390 with that remaining shot.
Yeah. Oh no, the Scyther's just missed. So, yeah, Black will be taking out the MX-1390 instead. And there we go, Cognac Wine going down right after that. So, EL Gaming taking out Run. No surprises. First little bit there on steps with an unorthodox lineup, to say the least.
Yeah, I think unorthodox is probably a pretty fair statement. I mean, I dare say we won't be seeing them doing that against some of the top of the table teams.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, in saying that, they did test it out, and now they can kind of evaluate it. So, okay, well, how well did the double grill lineup?
Well, did you think it did well? Even though they won, I don't necessarily think the double grill did very well. Like, they lost the...
I don't think it worked either, because like they relied too much on the grills not getting spotted, and they relied too much on the grills like just not getting pushed, and both of the grills got pushed, and both of the grills got destroyed. Well, the first grill got destroyed earlier, and then the IS-7 that was kind of guarding the other grill got destroyed. So, yeah, I don't really think the double grill worked.
One grill might have been a little bit better of an option perhaps there for EL Gaming. But again, I mean, if there was ever a map or a match to really play around with their strategies, now wouldn't be a bad time for it, given that they are such a favoured team in this matchup. And well, I mean, they pick up the victory anyway. So again, we sort of said last series, what does it matter how you pick up the victory as long as you do?
And you know, here, Fox TS, even if they just got one extra shot on towards him, that would have been 600 and something damage that was saved on. Yeah, 641 damage would have been saved on towards Cognac Wine. So just little things like that EL Gaming, you know, really do well, making sure that they, you know, make every last millisecond count while they're still alive.
Yeah, so EL going to be moving over to the defensive side here on Steps, and they've only played Steps once before this. They lost on the defensive side as well, so maybe that's a small chink in the armor. I guess it's too small of a sample size to really call at the moment, but you know, if there was a round maybe where Run was able to get something, it might be this one. Let's go ahead and have a look and see how things turned out in that first one. Okay, both the grills did a lot of damage.
Yeah, there you go. So
well, comparatively, I suppose, to the rest of
they didn't. Honestly, even that first grill that died, I thought it would have fired less shots than that, or dealt less damage than that. But there you go. Nice and Fox TS driving those ones. But we're on the Run side. Well, down the bottom didn't quite work out as well as they'd have hoped. Matchy HK in the bad chat only dealing 732, and Cowdy Wing and the Object 140 dealing 0 damage for the entire lineup, which really not what you're looking for in a tier 10.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that both those grills were sitting up the top of the scoreboard there, I still feel like an extra bat chat would have been more useful than the extra grill in that situation.
I think so. So, I mean, if they'd gone with the extra bat chat, then they couldn't have really done, like, they probably would have played it completely differently, because going with the grills, of course, they were maybe trying it out just to see if they could, you know, get a few of those early picks up. And having those two grills, it did mean at least that they could cover two different kind of fields of fire.
Yeah. All right, well, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see whether or not they're going to pick up the double grill here again on the defensive side. We've got the tank lineups coming out, and doesn't seem that way because, well, this is a bit more of an EL Gaming lineup.
Got naughty. Liking the Lorraine pick there for EL Game. They've got the 2-1-13s. And this is just overall a very solid lineup for EL Gaming.
Now, is this the first time we've seen EL actually pick up an artillery this season?
I feel like they picked it up once before. Something's telling me they picked it up once before. Whether it was in a broadcast match or not, I can't quite remember, but pretty sure they've used it at least once before. So,
like, I know they used it obviously last season. Usually on Fox TS, and it was usually the Lorraine as well.
No, I'm pretty sure earlier on it was the Lorraine. I can't remember who they were playing, but I think we have seen it. But overall, Run just going with it again, a stock standard lineup, and I feel as though they could have maybe tried just something a little bit extra.
Maybe a double grill.
Maybe a double grill. What do you call that? A double grill? Is that like a?
Well, you're the one that has the names for all the griller. Like must be you must have the rights to name that, surely.
Well, obviously a double grill. It's like a Weber Master barbecue.
Yeah, but people probably won't get that. That's an Australian thing, isn't it? A Weber.
Oh, Weber's everywhere.
Is it?
Yeah, everyone has a Weber.
Okay.
Do you guys have a Weber? Let us know in chat. But not quite sure how we got into the topic of Webers, but we should probably head on to the topic of tanks again, because that's what we're seeing in front of us, Jordan.
Fox TS in the artillery for EL, and they're on the defense. Run looking like they want to be reasonably aggressive, which might not be the worst of ideas here against that artillery.
Maybe not. So right now, Run are going to be pushing up pretty fast. Guanren's already been spotted out, so Run essentially now know that EL Gaming are pushing up to catch them or to meet them. But interestingly enough, they've stopped just before, so they don't want this full all-out fight, and already 518 damage going on towards County H. Lineage H even.
Yeah, I mean, EL definitely don't want to have an all-out fight to start things off here, because you know, they want to let that artillery do the artillery work, I suppose, more so than really starting to get a brawl in early with essentially what is a tank disadvantage if that artillery is not firing. So,
and actually, I think that 500 or so damage was from the artillery.
I believe it was, yeah.
good little shot early on, and I don't think the guys from Run are going to be too happy with that, so they're going in.
Yeah, Cud just taking a huge amount of damage, almost going down there. He's lost 1,500 and surely should be going down very shortly, but actually the damage going across the Lineage H, eventually Cud goes down. Lineage H as well is going to be going down, and well, I mean, this is just EL all over, getting that focus fire. Fantastic work coming out from them. They pick up 3 kills. Really, you could almost say before the battle started. Like, Run wasn't even all there.
How is Flag even... How is he fully reloaded right now? I do not know this. And Matchy HK is going to be going down next. The Scyther and Keith, only 2 members left up for the Run crew. And I don't even know if these guys are going to lose a tank, Jordan.
No, I would be very surprised if they did. And really, I think the strength of EO Gaming, at least there, was that, you know, you mentioned how is Fox TS still fully reloaded? I think the case is they only fire when they know that they're going to hit and penetrate.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They're not wasting shots. A lot of teams we sometimes see will just fire off a panic shot, and of course that's going to lower your DPM a lot. EO Gaming haven't fallen into that trap, and well, that was a very quick game, wasn't it? 7 minutes 30 left on the clock, only 2.5 minutes gone. That's the EL that we're used to seeing.
That is exactly the EL that we're used to seeing there, and just trademark aggression. And you know, even though we did see like Run, they kind of thought about it a little bit, like, oh, okay, how can we do this? So they did have time to think about how they were going to push into EL Gaming, and you know, the question was, should they have potentially moved back a little bit afterwards and tried to disengage from that fight up near the rail yard. And I feel as though they should have, because EL Gaming obviously had the perfect spot up on the top of the rails. EL Gaming had all the opportunities to kind of play around with that little rock in the center where they just, you know, jumped around and took Run out from behind. And it was like, EL Gaming, I mean, what more can you say? Like, they just played that one perfectly. Textbook tanks.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a huge amount to say about EL Gaming that we haven't already said in the last 2.5 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously, this is the 3rd week now. They're just such an aggressive side. They're the best side in the region. They're confident. They know exactly what they're doing, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to beat them. At least at the moment, EL Gaming are looking unstoppable. I would, right now, if they continue playing like this and the rest of the teams continue playing like this, they're going to win the entire season without losing a single game. Like,
I mean, yeah, honestly, it's kind of scary to think that is actually, you know, a thing, and that, like, if they keep on playing like this, which they are so far. Yeah. So, yeah, but let's take a look, I think, at how the fight broke out. So here, Run pushing in towards them, Cud just pushing too far. Look, they knew the Guanren was there, so the rest of EL Gaming weren't going to be too far behind, and Cud just pushed right up, got eliminated first, primary down by EL Gaming, and Lineage H went down right after that. Cool. Like, and there was no clear fields of fire. All of Run didn't push all the way up, and
yeah,
they
Run
kind
was
of spread their fire.
Yeah. Run sort of went in there one by one as well, so they didn't make it difficult there for EL Gaming. So, yeah, more so I think it was mistakes from Run as opposed to excellent play from EL Gaming. Obviously, EL capitalized well, but they didn't do anything special. Run just sort of came in and was like, shoot me.
Shoot me. Yes, pretty much.
I don't think it should be any surprise to really anyone that both you and I have picked EL Gaming to pick this one up 5-0 in our predictions.
Yeah, look, I quite enjoy kind of picking things which aren't what you've picked.
Yeah.
But I was like, well,
kind of had to go with it on this one.
Yeah. Look at that then. The Lorraine Fox CS dealing a nice amount of damage.
I'm actually surprised that he came out with that amount of
2K.
damage.
Like, maybe there was
there must have been a penetrating shot.
There might have been a really big arty shot like early on when Run actually went in to push them.
Yeah.
I feel like, and
like, obviously the artillery, it's kind of hard sometimes to get a gauge on how much damage it's dealing unless there's not a whole lot else going on. But certainly in that case, I'm very surprised to see such a high amount of damage coming out of the artillery. Not surprised, but I didn't expect to see that from what we watched. Yeah. Like, I thought all that damage was coming out of the bat chats, but no, there was a lot coming out from the artillery there as well. So great stuff coming out from Fox TS in that artillery.
Yeah, definitely. So let's take a look at what we're going to be taking into Muravanka right here, and scrolling down both the lineups, nothing too crazy. Both teams are going to be taking that STB1. We've got Run going to be taking that Tier 10 American heavy tank, the the T110 E5 as well, which I kind of like. 1 E5 on the defensive Muravanka, so nothing too crazy there. But overall, both of these teams are going to be looking for speed on either side, and that's why we're seeing all of those Batchats, all of those medium tanks, and the 113 in there as well. Because I mean, when you see a 113, it is technically speaking a heavy tank. Of course, the Chinese tier 10 heavy, but it's so fast, doesn't have the armor of something like an IS-7 or an E100. So really, it plays a lot like a medium tank.
Yeah, I mean, heading on to Muravanka, it's not a map we've actually seen a whole lot throughout our season. I think really the only team that's picking it is Meltdown. Everyone else seems to be trying to get rid of it, or at least not picking it. Like, they ban it first or second. Right. Obviously, most people are banning Cliff. Then Muravanka seems to be the next most banned. But as I mentioned, Meltdown really the only one picking it. So a little surprising to see it coming out here between EL and Run. EL, I would suspect, going to have the advantage coming into this one, though.
Well, I think that is a pretty safe bet there, Jordan. We can see there on Muravanka, both of the flags. Often we see teams not going for the flag out in the open down the bottom, but rather going for that one flag. And it's time to see where these guys are rolling out to. But probably going to be, getting all of EL just moving super fast towards the one flag. Maybe they might even do a forest rush, I feel.
Okay. I don't actually remember if we've seen EL playing Muravanka on broadcast. Obviously, they have played it once, but I don't remember. I don't remember seeing it, right?
Because obviously, all of EL's games that we've seen on broadcast, they haven't gone up to more than 3 maps.
Yeah.
So we've only seen 3 maps from EL Gaming each series they play on broadcast. So I think this probably will be the first time we're seeing EL Gaming on Muravanka.
So I mean, we can't necessarily say exactly what they might potentially do, I suppose. Like, we can theorize, but really we haven't really got too much to go off. Apart from the fact that they're going to be aggressive, which is almost a given.
I think it is a given.
Yeah.
Not even almost a given. The trademark EL Gaming aggression. And Muravanka, it's a map that really plays into that, because you can go down the forest on Muravanka. You can kind of hide in there with the Batchats, with the medium tanks like that, and it's just so effective for little hit and run attacks when you're on the attacking side, and then you can kind of flank through the town and hit the one flag from the side. Maybe send a few tanks out to the west of the map as well. There's lots of options for aggression on Muravanka. It's a great map for that, and a lot of kind of the play on Muravanka is dictated to what you spot, particularly when you're on the defensive side, because often you've got tanks up on the little hill behind the one flag that can spot down on towards any attackers coming out from the edge of the forest and coming out of the forest to try and push towards the 2 flag. But, I think we've seen some really successful teams go for something like an AMX 1390 on the defense with a camo net as well, just so it's harder to spot.
Yeah. So I have an interesting stat for you, Alex. Muravanka has a 75% win rate on the attacking side throughout all the teams in APAC. So, well, Run have got their best chance, I suppose, on this map to pick up a round in this particular round when they're on the attack.
There we go. So already, unfortunately, Run, well, they're dropping a few of their chances because they've already taken a couple of shots from EL Gaming. But to be fair, now they have got 2 tanks, 2 of their heavies on towards that one flag, and are going to be able to start exerting a little bit of cap pressure. I'm liking this early aggression from Run, kind of getting some shots across from EL Gaming as well already. But EL there we can see Black going to be running with a full defensive setup on his Object 140, fire extinguisher, and actually double repair kits. That's quite interesting. That he's gone for those, so really doesn't want to get tracked in that Object 140. That's not something that we often see as well, but for those that don't know, because they've got the double repair kits, that means that the first one repairs everything, then the second one you just use to repair your tracks, or whatever in most cases. Yeah.
Oh, Cognac Wine just got absolutely demolished.
See you later, Cognac 1. And it's looking like EL Gaming. They're actually taking the fight to Run right here. They're pushing through the town. This is dangerous for Run. Match HK, he is out in the middle of nowhere.
Run are trying to take this game into their own hands, but I'm not sure if that's the best of ideas here. EL actually taking their first real amount of damage right now, and Run's already lost almost half of their HP. So no matter how this one turns out, I guess, for Run, no matter how good this passage of play is, which is not, there was no chance they were going to come back into that.
No way at all. So EL Gaming should be able to close this one out. Flag will be going down there, so at least Run get a bit of a consolation prize. And now with the rest of Run dropping like flies, I think EL Gaming, I mean, like, Run, that's the thing, Run got themselves on towards the flag. They got 2 tanks towards the flag early on. I felt as though if they maybe, I don't know, maybe push the flag. But anyways, let's see if they can at least get a few more tanks from EL Gaming down there.
I'd say they're going to be a little bit lucky to do that. Lineage H sitting on only 51 HP. The Scyther going down there in the STB1. And, you know, Run sort of just committed straight towards that 1 cap there. They didn't really explore any other options on the map. No one went over towards the forest. I mean, they had a guy in forest, but was pretty far back.
Wasn't doing much.
Wasn't doing a whole lot. Like, just spotting out the forest in case EL was pushing it. But that was another sort of part of the map that they probably could have tried to at least find something from. But really, they just went straight towards that 1 cap. And then as soon as they lost Cognac Wine, they were just like, okay, well, we better go.
We better go.
And we know how that turned out.
Not well. Not well at all is how it turned out, unfortunately, for Run. But there you go, losing on the attack on Muravanka there. It's going to be quite hard for them to come back on the defense. As we know, Muravanka's defensive side doesn't have quite the win rate of the attack, going off the first 2 weeks of stats that we've been collecting, of course. But oh, it's not looking good.
Well, I dare say EL's going to try and boost that when they get over on their attacking side. But let's have a look and see where it all went wrong for Run. And this was just after they decided they want to go in and try and bring the fight to EL.
Yeah, and look, we can see on the mini-map there the EL Gaming just clamping down on the kind of individual members and Run. Like Lineage H, he was there late. He didn't do too much in that Tier 9 batch ad, and I'm not a huge fan of the Tier 9 batch ads here on Muravanka unless you actually push as a group. And it was just confusing why Run didn't, like, you know, against a team as like EL Gaming that was so mobile with all of their tanks. You know, like they had EL Gaming didn't have a single true heavy on their lineup. So when Run separated their team, like, and left Lineage H in the forest, left one guy all the way out the back, it's like, of course EL Gaming is not going to let you do that.
No.
You know? EL Gaming is going to push into you as soon as they recognise that all of your tanks aren't pushing at the same time. And that's exactly what EL Gaming did, and it was a clockwork victory.
Certainly was. It's the same old story coming out from EL. There's really no team at the moment that has even challenged them at all. Like, no one's looked like they might be able to challenge them. I suppose they have yet to verse any of those other teams that are sitting up towards the top of the scoreboard. So we might see some more close games coming out between EL and some other teams later on. But for the moment, EL just looking so strong. Fox TS is having a fantastic day as well.
We can look at that. The Scyther is the lone Run member in the top 7. Oh, poor Run. But that TVP, you know, I'm loving how EL Gaming use it. And there we go. Guanren just on 8th there in his batch.
Letting down the team.
Letting down the team. Only dealt 934 damage. Only dealt as much damage as, or more damage than 6 members of Twist.
Yeah.
That's top damage. So there we go. Up your game. Up your game.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, when EL's winning like that anyway. But certainly was a very, very dominant performance coming out from EL there on Muravanka. I mean,
3-0.
It doesn't seem like Run are particularly comfortable on it. That's their first time that we've seen them play it. So obviously they're avoiding it. They've vetoed it or banned it out 3 times, actually. So surprising to see it coming through again here against EL.
Yeah, I don't know why they let that get through, but who knows? Maybe this time.
Like, again, we can kind of break down, I suppose, the picks and bans here between EL and Run as much as we want, but in reality, it doesn't matter how it works out. EL's going to be favoured on every single map in the pool.
That is quite true, I think, Jordan. And here we can see EL Gaming are not going to be the ones with the Grill 15 this time, but will instead be Run, which is quite interesting. EL actually going with the 2 T110 E5s for the attack, and a bit of a kind of heavier, slower lineup for EL Gaming. And I don't think I can remember seeing Run use a grill before.
No,
certainly not this week. But interesting to see how that works out. They've got the grill, the 5 bat chats, the AMX 1390. That is a pretty aggressive force for the defense.
Well, certainly a mobile force.
Yeah, very mobile force. So maybe we'll see Run doing a bit of a push on the defensive side.
It's tough, I suppose, there for Run because obviously with that kind of a lineup, generally the strategy would be to outmaneuver your opponents, out-rotate, out-position with the bat chats, the mobility, and then of course get out there and rip them to shreds with the autoloaders. But how often are you going to say we're going to be able to outmaneuver EL Gaming? Really?
Not. I'm trying to think. Never.
Never. Yeah.
Never.
Well, that's the answer I was looking for, pretty much.
But maybe if they just pressed it, like if EL Gaming split up and Run push from minute 0, and they happen across a few members of EL Gaming when they're like in the forest or something, maybe then that could work. Maybe. But
it's going to be really tough here for Run. They're obviously 3-0 down at the moment. If they lose this, it's going to be 4-0 down. So really hanging on by the skin of their teeth at the moment is Run. They need to pick up this round if they want to put themselves in a position where they might be able to come back in this series. But EL just looking on fire at the moment. So it's going to be tough for Run.
Is going to be very tough. And already we're seeing that, Run...
was actually Run
be going with the
210 E5s.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense because honestly, E5's not really a EL Gaming tank.
No. The bat chats, the 5 bat chats is definitely an EL Gaming tank.
Yes,
definitely an EL
yes,
lineup.
Definitely 100%, and the grill.
Yeah.
So they like the grill. I want to see more teams kind of start to pick it up. It's a very very solid tank destroyer, but and we can see Run at least set up for a fairly solid. I kind of like this defensive setup here by Run. They've got quite a few good crossed lines of fire around there. So if EL Gaming do push out of the woods, which is exactly what they're doing, and get spotted, then Run should actually be able to light them up. Turn nice there. Also got that coated optics on that AMX 1390. So a little bit of extra view range for that French Tier 9 or Tier 8 autoloader rather.
Guanren has been spotted out here, the first spot of the game. CMC Kelvin also being spotted out, but you can see the cap has been started by EL Gaming. Run are going to have to respond to this, and this is where EL Gaming are really going to try and put the pressure on them. Quiet. Oh, he takes a lot of damage there, so not a good start coming out here from EL at the moment. He's been caught off and almost been taken out there. Only on 166 HP. He's got a damaged, I think that's a damaged gun and a damaged...
damaged gunner and a damaged commander out there. So that is very, very bad for Quiet. Because he doesn't
have a medkit.
Yeah, he's actually not running with the medkit there. Instead, taking some croissants.
Good luck hitting stuff now.
Yeah, well, you should have taken some band-aids instead. But it's not going to be too good at all. Essentially, that's almost one tank off the field for EL Gaming, at least at kind of long ranges.
Well, speaking of one tank off the field, CMC Kelvin will not be playing any more of a part in this round in particular. The cap timer hasn't been reset yet either by Run. They're just trying to put themselves in a good spot to be able to contest this one, but they've already lost that early player. The HP is pretty even, so EL Gaming are not necessarily winning these trades, but they have got that initial pick, and that's going to be so crucial. Guanren in an awful position here. He's been basically perma-spotted by the 1390. But as soon as that 1390 fires, Guanren fires. So the Scyther doesn't want to fire here, but he knows he's being spotted from somewhere.
Oh, man. Yep. Guanren knows and look, he's aiming there as well, so he just knows there's something in the bush. Doesn't want to poke out, but the guys from Run, they need to go soon, Jordan, because there's 14 seconds left on the cap.
Yeah, you're right, and they are going, but it's not working out too well for them. Black has picked up an early kill here again. Run have lost 2 tanks already. There, immediately, 2 tanks respondingly falling for EL, but Sun Mi is able to bring one back there onto Lineage H, so all is not lost for EL Gaming at the moment. They have the tank advantage. Quiet still on the field though, and he's one of their very low HP tanks, so they need to be worried about him. Having said that though, Run, they I guess successfully push in there and get the reset, and they're going to be able to disengage the fight, live again to fight another day.
Okay, so Run right now, they're going to be coming out of that one with 4 tanks remaining. EL Gaming have 5 on the field, but again, like we said, Quiet is barely a single tank with that gunner and commander dead. So it's going to be very hard for him to hit stuff with that one. Cognac Quiet takes 1 shot there, has to be careful. But as long as the guys from Run kind of stay grouped up, we've actually got Nice and Fox TS down the bottom there. So the 2 members of EL Gaming actually split off from the main group.
Yeah, they have. It's probably going to work out here for EL Gaming as well because they're rotating around, they're getting behind, they're putting a bit of danger, I suppose, in the minds there of Run, and really Run are on the ropes already. Cognac Wine is so low on HP and now has no HP to play with at all. Keith in the T110E5 is under pressure from Nice and Fox TS, who are giving him a bit of trouble. Should be able to actually kill the 1390 here.
Nice.
Does.
Nice.
Was it nice?
It was nice.
No,
that's why I said it with a bit of a laugh. But Keith there, he's not having a nice time at all. Only 151 damage, and it looks like he's going to stay quiet and kind of flag himself for destruction as he gets hounded by the Fox while the sun's shining on him.
Well, the Scythe are still on full HP there in that 1390, but once again, it just seems like EL Gaming really just a cut above the rest of the competition here because once again they've had no troubles.
Oh, the Scythe are actually, I think, go for the ram on the Scythe. Try to go for the reload and
Quiet's going to get it with the ram.
Yeah. I would have loved to see Scythe pick up Quiet there, but not going to. In the end, another win to EL Gaming. Surprise, surprise there,
like
Jordan.
a broken record at this point.
I mean, like, what can you do, eh? If you're playing against EL Gaming, there's just not much you can do.
No, really, I don't know what the solution is. Like, EL Gaming are just that far above everyone else that no one seems to be able to challenge them. So it's gonna have to be a really concerted effort from someone to counter strat EL, or just they're going to have to put all of their eggs in the basket of beating EL. Like, I just don't see it happening.
Like, I would love these teams to kind of try and adapt to EL's playstyle, because obviously we've seen them be so aggressive, EL Gaming that is, of course, and like these teams, they're still used to playing against everyone else in the APAC League. Right, so, and actually, we're still getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, to be fair, because it is only 4-0.
Oh, only 4-0.
Only 4-0.
I don't think we're getting ahead of ourselves at all, Alex.
You don't reckon?
No. History states, statistics state.
Run could pick up one.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Run could pick up one. Do you think they're going to?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you predicted 5-0.
No, I didn't.
Okay. I predicted 5-0. I'm prepared to be proven correct.
Okay, I might have predicted 5-0, guys. Sorry. Told a bit of a fib there.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Run take out one, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, if they just kind of try something a little bit different, you know, because they're used to playing against all of these defensive teams, they're very passive teams, and they're going to EL Gaming, picking the same tanks and expecting to win. Well, it's not really going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Run picking up a round here as well, but it's going to be tough. Anyway, let's go have a look and see how that map there on Muravanka turned out before we talk about our next matchup.
There we go, and that was a nice little ram.
So close
at the end there.
Yeah. So again, it's just I just don't see anything here that fills me with confidence that Run is going to be able to find it around at all.
What's our next map? I'm just trying to pull at straws here.
Well, I'm sorry, but you're pulling at the really short straw. But let's focus on this one first. The damage coming out there from EL Gaming, I guess, unsurprisingly, the ones 5 out of 7 on the top 7 list there. So really, what we would have expected.
Yep. Well, it's good to see Matt HK at the top, because obviously last time we saw, it was a 6-man by EL Gaming.
Yeah.
Of the top players, but at least this time.
All right. So our next map is going to be Prokhorovka.
Okay.
Which
I like Prokhorovka.
I like Prokhorovka as well. Run don't like Prokhorovka. EL likes Prokhorovka. EL has a 100% win rate on Prokhorovka out of 5 games. Run has 33% win rate on Prokhorovka. So
Ooh, that's going to be tricky.
you tell me.
That's going to be tricky.
Are the stats going to lie?
I don't think the stats are going to lie for this one, Jordan. But I mean, look, I want to at least see them just pick. I want to see a T110E4 picked on Prokhorovka. I feel like it's a decent tank on Prokhorovka. You know, great for poking over the hill, kind of getting a few nice early shots off. What else? I would like to see an Artie picked here by Run, M40, M43.
Okay.
So,
Well, we'll see if you're right.
or a T49.
T49, don't know. Well, we've got our tank lineups coming out here, and none of them.
None of them.
You know, I was watching the North American broadcast this week,
Yep.
and they had a match on Prokhorovka where the defensive side, I don't remember who it was, picked like 3 or 4 tank destroyers
That's what I want
and got absolutely demolished.
Well, okay, I was about to say that's what I want to see. I don't want to see that. I want to see them pick 3 or 4 tank destroyers and win.
Yeah,
You know?
no, it was not good. Not
Oh,
good at all.
But yeah, this lineup from both teams, Run going with the IS4, a little bit substandard. I'm honestly so much more of a fan of the IS7 than the IS4.
Yeah.
Because I've had to play around in my IS4 recently just to kind of get up to speed a little bit. And obviously, I'm no pro tanker. I'm not Fox TS. I'm not Sun Me.
Yeah.
But like the IS4, in the times that I played it, always felt just slightly underwhelming. Just slightly underwhelming. And if you look at EL Gaming, you know, they picked the IS7. Wait, I don't even know. Maybe 1 or 2 times they picked the IS4. Very specific times.
Yeah,
but
on
it's
Ghost
always the
Town, I
IS7
Yeah.
for EL Gaming. And I really prefer the IS7. It's just, you know, you're going to ding more shots. Yeah, the gun's slightly different, but even the IS7's gun, it's got that slightly higher alpha damage gun.
Yeah.
So, but not a major issue. It's only one tank. So here we go, Prokhorovka. See both of those flags, of course. One on either side of the rails, Jordan. One right next to the town as well.
Alrighty, here we go. It's going to be EL Gaming on the attack. So, well, Prokhorovka a little bit defense-sided. Maybe that's something to look at there, but still, I'm going to go EL Gaming here.
I think that's a safe bet, and I think looking at these lineups, there's nothing that's really kind of impressing me from Run's lineup. So let's lock in EL Gaming to take this one out. But how are they going to do it? It's always interesting to see how the kind of maestros get to work. And it's looking like it will be a kind of middle push here from EL Gaming.
Yeah, which is not necessarily the worst of decisions coming out from them, because you can see Run at the moment making their way all the way over towards the eastern part of the map. Looks like they wanted to take hill control, which, well, they're going to get, but it's not going to help them.
Yep. Yeah, so right now, EL Gaming getting a few kind of blind fire shots out there. And moving out towards that one flag. I like how EL Gaming are all kind of staying fairly grouped up. So in the case that anyone from Run does poke their head over those train tracks right there, then EL Gaming should be able to all kind of turn and kind of punish them for it. So we do have the cap started, and you know, it'd be quite funny if Run just said, "Alrighty, well, there you go. You can have the cap. It's going to be a 5-0.
Well,
No.
I mean, they've almost done that, really, because they had no one over towards this one side of the map.
Exactly.
They've given EL plenty of time to set up in whatever positions they wanted. EL have got the perfect defensive setup here for the one cap. And Run are going to have to try and really run their head against a brick wall almost.
Maybe. And I'm not even sure if Black's been spotted out yet there
I
in
don't
that
believe he has.
A251. So that's another issue with those small tanks. Hide them behind a bush, and obviously for those that don't know, when you're hiding behind a bush or a kind of knocked down tree, any sort of foliage really, your tank is much harder to get spotted. Ooh, ricochet.
Bounce. Right into the camera.
It's looking like Run. They're actually not too sure where they want to push over the rail yard to try and stop this. They need to push fairly soon, and here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, Keith is going to be moving up to get the spot on towards Black.
I'm surprised he hasn't actually been spotted just yet.
Yeah.
So gets in there without taking much damage. Easy reset coming out
Good
from him
reset there by Keith.
Yeah.
Actually, doesn't even barely gets punished. I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, he's going to start taking damage eventually here, but it relieves a huge amount of pressure on Run.
Yeah, definitely. And that way, Keith. Actually, oof. nice ricocheting some shots with that turret there in the Object 140. But yeah, that way Keith, essentially now, he has infinite free resets because he can just keep on poking up from that rock and from behind that rock and just getting a shot in towards Black and ducking right back. Right now, though, it's a bit of a tense standoff between both of these guys. As EL Gaming, it looks like they might be making a move fairly soon. They kind of might be wanting to look to take out Keith in that Object 140. There's two autoloaders heading directly at him. Guanren's almost reloaded. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is EL Gaming now trying to take things into their own hands. Guanren is popping over that little hill, and you should be able to pick out Keith without too much difficulty. We'll take a little bit of damage for his trouble. There's a couple of run players up on the train tracks there. It's Scyther and Cud, Cognac Wine as well, chiming in with a bit of damage. Seems to Kelvin actually able to pick up a kill there onto Guanren, but again, they get the 1-for-1 trade, and it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade. But even if it was a 1-for-1, EL Gaming got the more important kill out of that one. They got rid of Keith, who was the one that was putting the pressure on that one cap. And now Run have got no positioning at all across the map.
Well, they've barely got any tanks left as well, Jordan. Look at that with Cud, 1 shot or 2 shots from death there in that bad chat. EL Gaming should just be able to clean the rest of this out as well. So, look, I mean, it's just tricky. Run, they're going to be trying to take out a few more, but CMC Kelvin goes down, and, like, that was the issue without pushing into EL Gaming, right? Like, Run just kind of, they've tested the waters a little bit. They had a few opportunities to go in. They had a few opportunities to kind of group up and maybe try for a bit of a pincer thing and commit to an attack. But instead, they let EL Gaming define the moment when they wanted to attack, and, well, look where it's left them, stuck in a ditch.
Stuck in a hole, I think, is what I would have gone with, because that's really been the story of Run at the moment. They get themselves in a hole in terms of the disadvantage in HP or tanks, and they're never able to climb out of it. And in this scenario, they won't be able to climb out of this hole either.
There we go. Well, Lineage H, he is going to be the last one in the hole there for Run. And EL Gaming, I mean, look, like, just they're going to be pretty happy. I know they do it every week, but still, it's got to feel so good just to keep on 5-0ing or 5-1ing everyone, like they keep on doing. And, you know, for those of you watching at home, it's like you can get out your notepad and jot down some plays from EL Gaming. Use this as a little kind of tips book you can take to your next random battle as well, because what we just saw there, Jordan, was some top tier tanking from EL.
Yeah, so 5-0 the result there between EL and Run, and, well, luckily for you, Alex, at least you get to get one prediction right today.
I'm going to get more than one.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so. We've got 2 more matches today, so that means I'm going to get 3 predictions right today.
I see how that works. All right. Well, let's have a look and see how EL went about this one, because, I mean, Keith here, he was a bit of a thorn in their side.
He was a little bit, but EL Gaming, they just responded to it so well. Once they saw that Keith was there, they kind of obviously communicated a little bit and said, okay, guys, we've got to deal with this Object 140, or he's just going to keep on resetting our cap and keep on spotting us. He's on his own. Let's do him. And they just went ham with those 2 autoloaders, the TVP in the bad chat.
Yep.
Boom, that was it.
Certainly was a well-played battle coming out from EL Gaming. I mean, it wasn't as aggressive as we tend to see them. Well, I lie. It was aggressive because they pushed very early on towards that 1 cap. The fact that it was a bit less exciting early on, I guess, is more so because Run was over the other side of the map, rather than a lack of aggression there from EL. So EL played their natural game, worked out well for them, and of course resulting in that 5-0 win. So not much more to say, really.
Not a great deal, but I'd be interested to see how EL Gaming went on the score, whether we had another top 6. No, they didn't actually. So Run had 3 of the top 7. So at least they got a fair amount of damage out of that time, Run. So they can't be too disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, despite, you can see Keith down there almost at the bottom of the scoreboard in terms of damage.
Cognac Wine in the bat chat.
I feel like Keith was the most impactful player there in that particular round for Run, despite the disparity in terms of damage.
I think that's a fair call. Definitely.
Yeah. He got in there and did what needed to be done, and did it quite safely, but wasn't able to be, I suppose, backed up as much as he needed to be.
No. So Keith going to be pretty happy with that one. But there you go, 5-0 to EL Gaming, winning another 3 points. And what can stop them, Jordan? I don't know. Need a line of E100s. Maybe if we gave the other teams like an extra tank.
No, I
You know,
think
just
they
made
need
a
even
little-
more than one extra tank, to be honest.
Well, that's worryingly true.
Yeah.
That's worryingly true that they actually would. So, like,
I'm actually looking forward to seeing Horseman and EO playing together.
Ooh, that should be good.
Because I think Horsemen are the kind of team that does EL strat as well.
Yep.
Maybe not
Yep,
quite as well
yep,
as EL,
definitely.
but it will be certainly an interesting dynamic to see how that one goes out. But that's, of course, coming up sometime down the track later in the season. We are, of course, going to be heading to a quick break before our next matchup, but I'd definitely stay tuned for this one because this is going to be probably the best matchup of today, Alex. It's going to be Dark Wolves and Meltdown. Don't go anywhere.